keep talking. I gotta adjust my mic.
Okay.
I'm kind of loud. That's a little better. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I hear you good. Can you hear me good?
I hear you great. Yeah,
Awesome.
cool. So, yeah, this is strange. Let's let's start.
Oh, we can start recording.
Yeah, this shit's working.
Oh, excellent. This is
Welcome,
a
welcome everybody.
oh, welcome to Thank You for Your Services podcast.
Yeah,
The podcast dedicated to the service industry, all industries really, and to veterans and just really anybody who works in general.
mm-hmm. The show's
And we like
centric
to
to
talk about
shows.
what?
I'm saying this show is centric to those who work for a living, aka all of us.
Yeah.
The experiences that we have at work, and work is going to change us along the way, and it's also going to make us fucking laugh, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what we experience at the time, we're probably not laughing about it,
Not always.
but now when we talk about it later, it's very silly.
Yeah. If nothing else, it's goofy. You know,
Yeah.
Matt and I couldn't be together today, so we're making it work, and I'm actually pretty excited about this because everything sounds pretty freaking good with my headphones in.
Yeah, and it sounds good on my end over the phone.
Yeah, Matt is literally using a cell phone, and we're recording a fucking
Yes,
podcast.
a cellular phone.
Cellular telephone. Maybe you've heard
Yeah.
of maybe you've heard of them.
Yeah, fits in the palm of your hand.
I I haven't, but
Using a radial phone, actually.
so
You
Matt,
know, I actually grew up with a radial phone.
what the fuck is it called?
Or a rotary phone. I
Rotary
guess I'd say
phone.
radial. Yeah, I would say radial. I don't know why. Yeah, I guess I grew up with a rotary phone.
I've seen them in person, but I've never used one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we had in my house growing up. And it wasn't like even like an old one. It was like a just a like I didn't think anything of it. That's just what we used.
It's
I don't
just the
know.
phone.
It was just the phone. Yeah, it was heavy as shit too, now that I think about it, compared to, the iPhone.
Well, I've seen like, haven't you seen in movies like people getting smacked around with those things, and the bell's like
Of
ding,
course.
ding,
Yeah.
ding.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah, my
solid
my
weight.
mother-in-law, in fact, she used to be like a driver for a hotel in Philadelphia. So she would drive celebrities like to and from the airport from this hotel, and she's got some cool stories of people she met. Like she shared she had to drive Vincent Price around before. That's super cool.
Whoa.
And she talked about one time the Grateful Dead were staying in this hotel, and Jerry Garcia beat his wife over the head with one of those phones, and she
Oh
had to rush
boy.
him out of the hotel.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and drive him to the airport.
As if that band didn't annoy the fuck out of me already. Fuck that guy.
Exactly. I know. Yeah, I know. They're shitheads.
Christ.
Yep.
No, Matt was just telling me a minute ago. You said you got something for me today.
Oh, I was just gonna tell you like a silly anecdote, but can I talk about the license plate I saw yesterday?
Oh yeah, we got another funny license plate.
Yeah,
Go
dude,
on.
I mean, I see funny license plates all day long, but I don't know. So I saw one that was TVGRL. What do you think that is?
TV.
I thought it was TV girl.
TV. That'd be my first guess.
Yeah, but and then I'm thinking maybe it's TV and grill, but it's definitely TV girl. It's got to be TV girl.
Hmm.
But I was just wondering, what about them makes them the TV girl? Like, do you think they were on TV? And I couldn't get a look at the driver.
Maybe they were like a news anchor at some point for a local station or something. Or
That's not
maybe
bad.
even a producer or something. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, if they are, and and I guess I shouldn't say what state it was from.
Was it
Um,
ours or another one?
No, well, like I shouldn't even say it all, right? Because that's kind of creepy. They could just look that up. But it's
Who?
like, but I guess people with a vanity plate like want you to know
I
they
think
want you to
as far
remember
as
their name.
I know this for a fact, as far as the state of Delaware is concerned, the only thing that you can look up about a vanity plate is if it's taken or not. It doesn't say by who, it just says if it's taken or it's not taken. I've checked.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Unless you're literally a
Well,
police officer,
yeah.
in which please turn it off.
Jesus. Um,
Unless you're subscribed and you've rated and liked the podcast and follow us on Instagram, then I'll give you a pass.
that goes for anyone.
If you send us an email, I'll look the other way.
Oh, speaking of email, you can send us an email at thanks. Wait.
Send us an email at ThankYouForUrServices@gmail.com. And one last time, that's ThankYouForUrServices. Your is spelled U-R. Thank you for
the
your
letters U and R.
U and R. Thank you for your services at gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, concerns, feedback, anything,
Really, stories.
work,
Yeah.
coworkers, bosses, send it in.
We also do Instagram. Tom is doing a fantastic job of running the Instagram.
Having a great time.
It is thanks for your services _podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's us on Instagram. So
Yeah.
if you could give us a follow and a couple of likes, and we'll keep putting out content every week for you beautiful
Beautiful
sheeple
listeners out there.
Yeah.
We gotta
I love the term sheeple. That's become like a
pejorative.
The right wing uses that now for everybody. It fucking just cracks me up. It's just so it's all so funny.
Yeah. they're all goofballs over there, so.
Yeah, I mean,
if you belong to any wing, you're a goofball.
All sides are goofballs. Yeah, exactly. Because
they're
all just.
Yeah, if you've chosen a side, you're a goofball to me.
Especially as an American too, because we're all such enormous consumers, both physically and metaphorically.
Well,
like everything you buy is made somewhere else. It's just it's very silly to me.
I think it's this simple. If you've chosen the outcome of an argument before you've heard it, you're a fool. You're simply wrong. You're simply wrong until you've heard both sides of any argument. You can't.
Surely you jest.
You can't possibly have chosen, like, I feel this way about every issue going this way, always and forever. It makes no sense. It's illogical to me. So that's as far as I'll say.
Definitely, dude.
No, so this week we have a very special episode with a good buddy of mine, Mike Walsh. He is the drummer of a sweet-ass band called Chemical Fix, and he also plays bass in a band that I also love called Fixation, and I'm pretty sure I think he plays drums in another band called Half Thought, and he excels at all of his instruments. He's very musically inclined. He's naturally one of the funniest people I've ever met, and he made me laugh and fucking laugh and laugh on tour and like every time we hang out. So I asked him to be on the show because he's always worked in the service industry of some kind, and he fucking delivered.
Good. Yeah, no, he seems like a great dude. So
yeah. I think I'll have him back on eventually too. I'd really like to.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. He really wants to ask Matt some questions about barbering.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Barbering.
That's pretty much all I had for that. Do you wanna get to the episode?
Yeah, let's get to it. I'm sorry for the listeners that I won't be here the rest of the episode.
Hell yeah, girly.
Walsh seems like a cool dude. So
no, we'll be talking to him again all together sooner than you think. So that, I'll leave you with that, listeners. Thanks for tuning in.
I'll be back on the next one from here on out. If I'm ever not, it's because I'm away doing army crap. Mm-hmm. So,
if you're listening, thank Matt for his services.
No, please, God, do not.
Just keep talking about whatever.
Check 1, 2. So a moth goes into a podiatrist, and he's waiting there a while, and then the doctor eventually comes in, and he goes, "All right, Mr. Moth, what seems to be the problem?" And the moth goes, "Doc, I don't even know where to start." I
Keep it down.
My youngest son, he just got his girlfriend pregnant, and I don't even know if I can afford my own kids, let alone this other girl. And now there's a baby on the way. He's only 16 years old, and then my oldest son, he blew out his ACL playing football. That's all he ever wanted to do in his life, was play football, and he blew out his ACL. The doctor said that he might not even be able to walk the same way again, let alone play another down in his life. And then I just wake up next to this absolute shell of a woman next to me, and I don't even know her anymore. It's just the light in her eyes completely left, and I just see this look of obligation, like we're just together because of just obligation. And my boss is just this absolute just shithole of a human being who just likes to keep his thumb over me, and I just fight the urge every day to just take that loaded 45 out of my bedside locker and end this miserable charade once and for all. And the doctor goes, whoa, Mr. Moth, look, what you're telling me is some pretty heavy stuff, and I want to help you, but I don't know if I know how. I'm a podiatrist. I look at people's feet. Why did you come here? Why did you come to me? And the moth takes a deep breath, and he wipes a tear away from his eye, and he goes, "Well, your light was on."
I love that fucking joke.
Yeah.
It's so long.
R.I.P. Norm, man.
Oh my god. Oh, I think I can recite a Norm joke too.
Yeah.
Let me see. A frog walks into a bank.
I love this one too, but go ahead.
And, he's trying to get a loan. A frog of all things, is trying to get a loan. So he walks up to the teller. He says, I'd like to take out a loan at this bank. The teller looks at him and goes, who are you? Do you bank here? He says, what did he say?
What's her name?
Well, the teller's name is Patty.
Right.
So I got a little name tag. And he says, what's his first name? Bobby? Let's say whatever. His name's Bobby. My name's Bobby Jagger. Mick Jagger is my father. And she says, okay. Do you have any collateral for the loan? Because you don't have any history here. I don't know you. And the frog pulls out a thimble, and he hands it to the teller. And he says, yeah, that's my collateral right there. Oh God, there's so much to it. Fuck.
Yeah, you don't realize until you're already in the middle of it how much more legwork you got to do.
So Patty takes the takes the thimble, and she says, I don't know if this is going to be enough. I'm going to have to talk to the manager. So the teller Patty takes the thimble, goes to the manager's office, and she says, yeah, that frog out there wants a loan. And he gave me this as collateral. And the manager goes,
she goes,
oh,
do
shit.
you know what this is?
Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
And her how do we get to her last name?
I think you would have had to have provided that information already.
Oh, I guess somewhere on the name tag, her name is her last name is Whack, Mrs. Whack.
Yeah. Right.
So the manager picks up the thimble, and he goes, "This is a knick-knack. Patty Whack? Give the frog alone. His old man is a rolling stone. God, I wish I could.
He was one of the best ever. Yeah, I think about. So it's funny how you got to the end of that joke and realized pretty quickly that you didn't have all the information in it.
So much.
My friend tells the moth joke, and purposely omits the part that he's a moth. So he gets to the end of the joke and does the punchline, and nobody laughs or says anything. And he goes, "Did I mention that he's a moth?"
Fuck. Oh, that's fucking great. Also, welcome to another episode of Thank You for Your Services podcast, a podcast by myself, and Stinky Matt is not here because he's somewhere wiping his ass instead of talking to my good friend here. Today, I have a guest, and he is a dear friend of mine, a new friend, but dear to me nonetheless. Drummer of Chemical Fix, one of my favorite bands, the sister band to my former band. We spent a lot of hours on the road together, going up to upstate New York and many a Philadelphia show. Please welcome Mr. Mike Walsh.
Hey everybody, how we doing?
What
Thanks
up?
for having me. It's nice to be here.
I can't believe you came. Still,
Yeah.
I still can't believe it. All I had to do was promise him some food, and lo and behold, he showed up.
Yeah, I've been tempted into some wild places for the promise of a veggie burger before. So
I've been stranger places for less.
that's
Personally,
absolutely true. Right.
No, we're just here to talk about whatever the fuck we want, really. Work shit,
Right.
fun shit, Norm Macdonald shit. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
I butchered his fucking joke, so God help me.
Is that how we're opening the pod?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Both of us butchering a Norm Macdonald
Hmm?
joke.
Very apropos, I'd say.
Yeah,
Only Norm can tell a Norm joke.
it's true.
So, no, fucking, let me think here.
Where were you when Norm died?
Work, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was what? Was it last month or was it December?
I'm not sure. I'm terrible with dates, but
Fuck.
yeah.
I want to say it was 20. It was. I want to say it was in 22. I could be fucking wrong though.
Mm.
I was probably at work or
Yeah.
here. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I think it was actually in the summer because I remember.
Really?
I remember specifically at the Chemical Fix record release show at the
At the dock.
dock. During the breakdown of one of the songs, Mikey grabbed
That's right.
the mic and yelled, "This is for Norm Macdonald."
He said, "This is for Norm fucking
Oh, okay.
McDonald."
I wasn't sure if we were allowed to curse on this show.
Yeah, this is I file it under explicit just for shits and giggles, but no, you're 1,000% right. I can't believe I forgot that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is for Norm
This is for Norm fucking Macdonald.
McDonald.
Yeah, it was awesome.
If I was there, I probably would have thrown somebody off that dock.
That show was so crazy just because it was on a dock right on the Delaware, just like in the middle of it was behind the Walmart.
Oh, let's back up.
Sure.
Before we get into any work shit, tell us about that, because I don't know, God only knows what I was doing that night, but like he said, his band released a record, and did the venue fall through for your show?
Yeah, so to the best of my knowledge, we were working on a couple different places that had all fallen through. Like, we were going to do it at one place and that didn't work out, and then we were going to do it at one of the skate parks, I think like FDR or something like that, or Grace Ferry, something like that.
Grace Ferry Skate Park, I think.
And then
This is in Philadelphia.
Oh
by the
yes,
way.
and for the listener, it's in Philadelphia. And for whatever reason, they all fell through, and they all fell through relatively late in the game, like within the week of this show supposed to happen.
Nightmare.
Yeah, it was an absolute shit show. So very last minute, who are, the people putting on the show were like, well, what if we do it at Walmart Beach. And props to if he's listening, props to Mikey Bifalco for making this entire show happen. But they were like, yeah, we could do it at Walmart Beach, and we're like, what the fuck is a Walmart Beach?
Where there's a will, Michael Bifalco will find a way.
Oh, absolutely. So
what turns out Walmart Beach?
It turns out behind the Walmart in South Philly, if you were to follow a small road along the river, you would eventually, like a back alley, essentially, you would find a concrete. I don't even know what to put it. A concrete pier.
It looks like something a barge would drive up to.
It's straight up like a barge. It's like a barge that doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Right on the Delaware River.
All concrete, all flat.
All concrete, all flat.
Crazy.
And it's just, you're looking at Camden on the other side of it.
Boy.
And yeah, so they were like, well, why don't we do it there with like a couple days to go? And I thought it was going to be an absolute disaster because we were changing the venue so late, and I was like, nobody's gonna come, and this whole thing is sketchy. We're gonna get busted by the cops and everything. And I thought that up until the minute before we played, and then
you're just about to sit on your throne.
The other thing was, so I showed up, and I think the entire show maybe started around like maybe 11 o'clock or midnight. We had to start late because we didn't want to draw attention to that area. You know what I mean? And does
that Walmart close?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember what time, but anyway. So right when bands started playing, Coast Guard ships started boats started riding by to see, what crack we were getting into. Because I showed up and there were already several hundred kids there. Fuck. So it went from I don't think anybody's going to show up to, oh shit, this is a thing now. This is a thing now. So I think by the time and the other bands on that bill that played were awesome too. We played with Savage Mystic, our friends in Gel, Action News, which is Mikey's other band.
Was it just
Off the Tracks? Off the Tracks
that's
is
right.
the other one that played. Yeah.
5 fucking bands. Who knew?
And by the time that we played, I think they counted 550 people there.
No way.
Yeah, I think it was.
Who counted that?
I heard that from the promoters.
550 paid?
That's what I hear. I'll have to get confirmation, and then is about 2 songs into our set, people brought fireworks and were shooting off fire. It looks like there's a video on YouTube if anyone's interested, which I don't know if anyone would be, but
there's more than one.
There's several videos, but the feed first video is shot and it looks like straight up Mad Max Fury Road. It's just within the first couple songs it turns into Sodom and Gomorrah, and I don't think I'll play a better show in my life. It was just absolutely insane.
That's like movie shit.
Yeah, it felt like Project X, the punk show.
Fucking, I swore to God Sonny was there, Hate 56 was there, but I know for a fact Feet First was there too.
Yeah, I don't know if Sonny was there, but yeah, the Feet First video is pretty wild.
Yeah, please, if you want to see a crazy fucking show, look up the Chemical Fix record, Our Shade Cast Far record release show on YouTube. Those videos didn't leave my feed on Instagram for 2 fucking weeks.
It was really cool too, because I don't know, I feel like the punk scene gets a little cliquey from time to time, but there were so many different people there. There was dangly earring punks, and there was hardcore kids, and there was all these different people. I had friends that aren't used to coming out to shows came out, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a really cool thing to be a part of.
Just an amalgamation of a bunch of shit all at the right time and place.
Right.
Where what's it? Where preparation and luck is the meeting of preparation and what? Something.
Yeah.
Something. Who fucking cares?
Sex appeal.
Yeah. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Was that show. And I got you in my den area.
Yeah, we're down here. We're hanging out with the animals.
Mm-hmm. Al is here,
Yeah.
my cat. Elliot is over there chewing on his little rubber thing that he loves so much. And if you don't throw it back to him, he'll start whining a little.
Right.
So if you hear that, that's him. Sorry about that. Well, I guess let me think. I think I want to ask you a question.
Sure. Do you think the listener is going to need like subtitles for when I talk?
Why? Because of the
hoagie mouth.
Your is that what you? That's a really good.
That's the
saying.
affectionate term for the Philadelphia accent is hoagie mouth. I try to dial it down. I'm gonna try to watch my O's, but also watch. I'm gonna try to not curse as much, but
You do whatever you feel is right.
There's a comedian, Tommy Tiernan, who says the English language is a brick wall between me and you, and fuck is my chisel. It's not to do with the lack of vocabulary. It's just somebody said about people from Philadelphia. Being from Philadelphia is one of the few places where you can start and end a sentence with fucking, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm. That is the truth. And aren't you hail from South Jersey, you said?
Well, yeah. So I'm originally, my family's from Northeast Philly, but I did all of my growing up and my formative years in South Jersey.
As they say, down the shore.
Down the shore, yeah.
Or,
right.
I'm sorry, down the shore. My bad. No, I find the South Jersey Philly accent is much more accentuated.
Well, it's like a bastardized version of Philly because everybody down there is a transplant.
Mm-hmm. Either from Philly or Delco or something.
Right.
No, that reminds me. I know. I was just going to ask you that question.
Sure.
I want to know what's on your mind, baby. What's on your mind?
Oh
lately?
Boy. Well.
Anything good? Anything bad?
No. Well, I mean, it's
fuck is my chisel. I'm never going to forget that.
Today, at time of recording, seems like Putin is on his nut shit. I don't know if I don't know. Probably don't want to get into that, but yeah, I don't know. Everything feels pretty surreal right now. So
it's pretty fucking chaotic when you look at any platform because you're like the news is like war and we're like, oh fuck,
yeah,
oh Christ.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
No, I've been trying to duck it as much as I can, but somebody had CNN of all things on in the lobby at work today. So you fuck. So all day it was like background noise was the TV up there, and my desk is closest to the TV. So I was like, oh god. Meanwhile, I'm trying to do math.
Yeah,
and I'm like, not meth, but math with numbers.
Well, it starts with math and ends with math.
Yeah, eventually.
I'm just hoping people don't ask me questions or opinions about it because I don't think I'm learned enough in the field to speak on it.
I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact I'm not. So, God damn it, I just had something else on my mind. What else is there?
If only we prepared for the podcast before.
I mean, I have a couple notes written down for myself, but God help you.
Yeah.
No, it's nice enough that you're even here. So
yeah, no, I'm happy to be here.
I'm having fun already, despite my my sunny disposition and Vladimir Putin's greatest attempts to ruin our fun in America. Let me see. What else?
What else am I thinking about? I don't know. Just like
what have you done lately? Have you seen any bands live? Have you watched any movies? Any TV?
Seen some bands. Well, I recently came back from a tour. We did a run with a band called American Nightmare, and
fucking shit, 2 runs really.
Yeah,
kind of
so we did an East Coast West Coast thing. So that was a really cool experience.
God damn it, that was cool.
It was cool to play. I got to cross off a couple bucket list things. Like I've never gotten to play the church on the this is the First Unitarian Church for any listeners in Philadelphia. I never got to play the church on stage. So this was the first time doing that. And then on the West Coast, we played some places that I will for sure never step foot in again. Like there was this like beautiful theater on Hollywood Boulevard called the Fonda. And playing that, I was just like, we shouldn't even be here. I don't know why I'm here right now. I don't know why they let me in. But
when you were in Northern California, did you play Gilman?
No,
man.
that's on the bucket list too. But I don't know if they're doing shows there or if you just got to know somebody or be, a
these
significant
days,
band.
maybe.
Yeah, in this economy.
I played Gilman in like 2015.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The back, like all the back rooms and shit have like the craziest flyers you can possibly imagine. Besides like I don't know, like CBGB's flyers or something, but like there was a guitar on the wall that was probably Billy Joe's or something.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, if you've seen photos of it, that's it.
Yeah,
It's a little corner stage, but the amount of bands that came through there, I was like, I didn't really understand the gravity of it back then.
Yeah.
And it took us like leaving there to be like, did we just play 924 Gilman?
Yeah, it's straight up like hallowed ground in that part of the world.
Yeah. No, but playing the church and the Fonda sounds cool. But I mean, it's fucking American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they're not going to play, fucking the Sonic down the street,
They're not going to play Walmart Beach anytime soon.
Yeah, they're not going to play your cousin Bill's basement. Yeah. No. But no, it was a really cool, it was a good time. Other than I got in a gnarly car accident. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't dare ask anybody what happened because I'm sure everybody's like, what happened? What's going on?
Yeah, long story short, we were driving from Boston to New York City, and the morning of there was a really bad snowstorm. Mm-hmm. So the streets were pretty covered, and we were driving in two separate cars. So there was the van with everybody in it, and then there was another car with myself and a few other people. But as far as like musicians or people playing in the band, everybody else was in the van. So then the car slipped on some black ice, mm-hmm. and we went off road, went into some trees, hit a sign, totaled the car.
Fuck.
So it was a pretty wild day because I think we got in that car accident at like 1:00
in the afternoon.
And then we went to the ER to get checked out, mm-hmm. and thank Jah that everybody was okay. No like internal bleeding or
nothing crazy.
Like broken bones or anything like that. Yeah. And once I heard that there were no significant injuries, I was like, all right, we got to go to New York. So we Ubered to New York.
Fuck.
We Ubered to New York. I walked in. I think I was there for 15 minutes, and then we went up and played.
Holy shit!
I think it was like. Yeah, so like we had to get x-rays because, we all were really, really banged up. But yeah, so we Ubered to New York. I was there, I went up, and I think we played the best set of the West Coast.
Fuck.
Yeah. It was an experience. But anyway,
that's one of those.
That's what I've been up to.
That's one of those things though, like when you're on tour, I totally understand your mindset. It's like survival mode. Mm-hmm. You're like, all right, everybody's good. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get there? I don't care. We'll call an Uber to New York from God knows where. How much
right.
did that run you?
It was expensive. I wouldn't suggest it. If you could not get in an accident and then have to Uber from Connecticut to New York, I wouldn't do it.
Was it triple digits?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think it was like 175 or something like that.
Less than I would have thought.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it was still quite a car ride.
When my dad's desperate to get to the airport for like a gig, and nobody will take him from Smyrna. Smyrna's about 45 minutes south of here.
Mm.
He'll Uber from Smyrna to the Philly airport, and it's
really?
it's like 100 something.
Yeah, that's
So fuck. But
it's a racket.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wasn't. I don't know. The lead up to that tour was so much of a process that I was like, there's no way that on the second day of the tour, like if I'm not like physically broken, like we have to play this show.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out later. So.
It's always some shit like that. Well, it's like that with regular shows, I feel too.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like as we're both drummers, so as the drummer, like so much comes on us, like last minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's either somebody asks you seconds before they have to play, can I borrow like a piece of gear or some shit?
Right. Or it's like I love.
Or you have to borrow someone else's shit.
Yeah. I love when you just get done playing a set and all of a sudden people try to ask you stuff or like,
great set, man.
do you have, well, honestly, I don't even mind that. I mean, I pretty much black out when I play, so I don't even remember a lot of that shit, but I love when people try to, this is really relatable for the audience probably, but like,
I just thought that
when you get done and then somebody like is trying to load up right after you or like, you know, trying to get where you're at essentially.
They're trying to put their shit on stage while you're still decompressing. Your set just ended.
You're actively trying to not pass out.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
Anyway.
I can't imagine the gall of some people.
Anyway.
Anywho. Let me think. I'll ask myself, what's on your mind?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What my manners? What's going on, Tom?
You're a guest, bro. You're fine.
What's the crack, Tom? What's been going on?
Let me think. I was driving the other day, and I was on my way to work. So it's 7:00 in the morning, and behind me is a guy driving a passenger who's clearly like his father or something, because he's a middle-aged guy, and the guy in the passenger seat's like an old man, clearly an old man. And I paid attention to what he was wearing. He had like a button-up shirt on, buttoned all the way up to the top,
Hell yeah.
jacket, hat, glasses. I imagine probably some khakis, probably some loafers or something on his feet. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, as soon as that man woke up today, who knows what time that was? 5, 6, who knows? Probably took a shower. Probably has his like freshly ironed
Irish Spring.
clothes.
He's an Irish Spring guy. I can tell you for sure.
Definitely. Head and Shoulders shampoo, probably. You know, for the dandruff, of course.
Right.
but I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, if I have to do something that's not work this early in the morning, God help me, am I gonna dress all the way up like that?
Well, you were saying this is an older guy, right?
Yeah. I think it's a generational
Different
thing.
generation, absolutely. Yeah.
When they leave the house, they're like, I'm leaving the house. I have to look presentable.
Yeah.
Presentable is like not even a thing anymore.
No.
Really?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I went to community college, and
I had a small stint.
Yeah, so I went to community college, and it was essentially sweatpants university.
I was just gonna say something just like that.
Yeah,
the pajama pants capital of the state is your local community college.
Absolutely. I don't think those people could have put less work into their attire or their education.
It's like that in school and at court.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Which is weird, because I think if anything, you should dress up in court.
I would assume,
because presumably
you're being judged.
Yeah, presumably there is some judging happening.
If not by a judge,
yeah, but then the other people judging,
some sort of council member,
your Cookie Monster pajama bottoms and your spaghetti strap top.
Oh, Christ!
While you push your fucking stroller on the side of the highway on the way to the Doritos,
and you're clearly eating chips out of your bag. You're not fooling anybody.
Oh no, 100%.
What else? And funerals.
Why don't people dress up at funerals?
People either dress like in completely normal, like not that they're wearing sweatpants and Cookie Monster fitted hats. No.
But it's like, come on now.
They're also like, people just dress normal.
Right. And it's like, is this what Gam Gam would have wanted?
No, I'm dressing in all black, head to toe.
Right.
my shirt, my tie, my
I'm looking
belt.
like an Alkaline Trio cover.
Exactly. Every time. I mean, that's just like, it's just ingrained in me that you wear black at funerals. So that's what I do. But
Right.
same shit. Like people wearing the flowers and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you ever see somebody at a wedding that clearly did not put the effort in that they should have?
No, luckily
really?
not. I've been to 3 badass weddings
Oh, really?
in my life so
What?
far.
How
And
badass?
Three for
Where was
three.
the Harley parked?
She rode up the aisle.
That's
on
what
it.
I am fucking talking about.
One was at like a historic like fucking like farmhouse looking place in Chester Springs. One was at a shout out to Garrett and Joanna out there. Their wedding was fucking amazing at this polo club in upstate, or not upstate, but like on Long Island, on like the nice part, up like out of the, let's just say out of the city. And then my friend Angie and James got married this past September at a campground, no less.
Okay.
But everybody was dressed fly as fuck at that
That's
wedding.
cool.
Everybody looked great. There wasn't one slouch to be seen. I was so proud. Well, that's probably because there was only like 40 people there.
And then you got to paint a canoe after.
Not me.
No.
They kept a canoe full of ice and with like White Claws and like beers and shit in it.
Oh, that's cool. Did you
was
tell
cool.
ghost stories after the wedding?
We had a big fire that this is a cliche for most men and fires, I feel.
Right.
I've
seen Castaway.
At every fire, especially in a group setting, there's one guy who self-appoints themselves to be like the fire tender.
Right.
Like they tend to the fire the whole time. That was me.
It's that with grills too, for one reason or another. It seems to be a masculine trait.
Somebody is a grill master, and if someone knows what they're doing, I leave them alone. I leave them to it.
Right.
But I was like somehow I appointed myself the fire guy, and more than one person was like, "That's a fucking nice fire." I'm like,
hell yeah.
like,
There's fewer nicer compliments than yo. Is that fire you?
That's a healthy flame there.
Yeah, dude.
So it might have been a joke, but somebody was like, "Were you a Boy Scout or something?"
Ugh.
And I was like, "No, not at all. Not even close."
No. That's where I learned to kiss. I'm kidding. That was
No.
that was an altar boy.
No, but I was just saying about the dressing up thing.
Yeah.
Like and to your point, it's a generational thing. I don't think we're gonna be like our parents' generation
Oh no.
in more ways than one, but definitely not that one.
No, I agree. You know, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. This is very old fashioned, and I thought for sure COVID would have killed it. I love a kiss high and by. I feel like that's such a distinguished thing that is going by the wayside with our generation.
To who? Anybody?
Yeah. Like, do you ever see old people will kiss each other high and by?
All of them?
I don't know. Statistically, no. It can't be all of them, but that's something I've noticed with older generations. They'll give each other like a smooch on the cheek, high and by.
You know what? Yeah, you're 100% right.
Like your aunts.
You're 100% right, because my dad does that to women he knows.
Yeah. And it's not a weird thing at all.
Only ones that he knows really well.
Uh-huh.
Like people who I would call my finger quotes my aunt, who's not really my aunt, but like my dad's known him forever, or just like out of kind of like politeness, and like I don't want to do it to somebody else because I don't know how they feel about getting like a peck on the head.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm just trying to be respectful, so I'd rather just not.
Well, especially in COVID times, like I thought that for sure would have gotten 86th, but
You've seen it since?
With older people, yes. With our generation, no.
That's wild.
Certainly not.
Never with our generation,
No.
especially
Our generation won't even talk to each other. If like I go to shows and I see people that I see at every show and they act like they don't know who we are.
Going to shows and hanging out after shows or hanging out outside of shows, period, I want to see no fucking phones. I hate seeing people hanging around.
Yeah.
Not so much hanging out, but if everyone's on their phone or something, especially at a show,
Yeah.
I don't think you're hanging out. I feel like you're just hanging around. You're kind of taking up space. I hate that shit.
Well, I feel like people have a lot of social anxiety, so the phone is very much a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it is a blankie or something.
Yeah.
The 5-inch backlit screen is the new teddy bear for social anxiety, I guess. But
Yeah.
who's to say? Not me. I try to keep my phone put, even when I am uncomfortable and there's no one to talk to or nothing to do. You can give him that toy. Just tell him to go somewhere, because he's gonna. Yeah.
Go somewhere.
Go ahead.
Go. That way.
Hey, go. All right. Fuck you then.
You're bad for radio.
What was I saying? Oh, even when I'm uncomfortable, I try to keep my shit put away. Unless I'm by myself. If I'm by myself, it's kind of no rules.
Mhm.
I go to a lot of shows alone. So.
Yeah.
But if I'm with other people anywhere, I try to be on my phone as little as possible.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm trying to get better at that too. Just giving people the time of day. It's also one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, is like just being better at making commitments that you're going to do something and actually doing something.
See, yes, 100% yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's if I say I'm going to do something, there's no way I'm not going to do it. Especially like for my friends or something. Like I'll drive anywhere, I'll go do anything.
Well, I think during COVID, it became all the more important to do things. Like, but I just remember like in the middle of the pandemic, being like, if I'm never going to take a show for granted again, because it may not happen again.
God
and of course,
damn, I remember that.
Yeah. And of course I have, but I am trying to get better.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to get better at it.
Well, for the last like up until like a month ago, like shit got so touchy at like the end of the holiday season. Like all these great shows popped up, and then everything kind of ramped up again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to do something dumb.
Yeah.
And get somebody else sick. I might have. That was like my ace in the hole, like excuse to like bail on a show.
Right.
I bailed on so many shows I had tickets to because I was like, fuck, I don't. And I never do that.
Right.
I never ever will. Especially if I bought the ticket already, I can't let myself waste the money.
Part with that $15 or whatever.
Plus $8 service charge.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
But like, I skipped on a bunch of them because I was like, I don't know about this shit right now. But now I will never do it again.
Well, Omicron was real hot in the streets for a minute. I know that when we were on tour in the West like that, that was a big factor of why people didn't come out, I think.
God damn.
Yeah.
Especially on the West Coast.
Right.
Not it's much. I wonder if it's much less here. But
I don't know. Hopefully it seems like things are chilling out a little bit. So
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
definitely dying down.
That's the thing, though. I can't blame anybody for not wanting to come out and get sick.
No.
Like, I can't.
Because who knows anything?
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
I have no expectations of anybody's education or lack thereof of a fucking unknown like sickness that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel that.
You don't need to die to see my band.
No. Now, that's pretty much all I had on my mind as well. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Oh, okay.
I want to ask you about work stuff.
Sure.
Now, before we started recording, we got a little bite, and you were telling me, well, you just started working from home during all this shit for the first time. This is in your first like desk and computer job.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And all you've done, correct me if I'm wrong, is like service industry shit, right? Kitchens.
With the exception of a few jobs here and there, it's been mostly food service since I was 11.
Fucking tell me more.
Okay, so I told you a bit that I grew up in South Jersey, and the area that I grew up in, South Jersey, was very like beach towny. So a lot of the work down there is seasonal. which means like locals will work their ass off for 5 months out of the year and then not have a job for the rest of the year.
Crazy.
So like pretty much from the age of 11, I had 2 jobs in the summer months. Like when everybody was like having fun in the summer, I was like working 2 jobs.
Always?
Yeah. So my first job ever was at a water ice stand. And that was a pretty sick job. It was right across the street from the beach. So I got paid to eat water ice and look at babes
and be warm.
And yeah,
Sometimes
well, I mean, I am a redhead, so being in the sun is not the coolest thing ever for me.
You're Irish too, right?
I am. I'm painfully Irish.
Aye, laddie.
Yeah. And then I worked at a hotel for a bit. I worked at a ice cream parlor. I was I was a manager at an ice cream parlor for a bit.
Hey.
Just a little humble brag there. So just staying in the desserts. I really cornered the frozen dessert market.
Hey, someone's got to eat it. It's hot out.
That's what I'm saying.
No, this was South Jersey Beach. Is the South Jersey Beach like Delaware beaches in that when the summer months roll around, it seems like truckloads of Eastern Blocker, like I don't know if you could call them like they're not immigrating.
Yeah.
Like they're on some kind of work program just for the summer, and then they fucking vanish.
In Wildwood, we call them J1s because that's the name of the visa that they get. It's like a temporary work visa. So yes, and if anyone listening is familiar with the Wildwood, New Jersey area, you know that we have the boardwalk and like Maurice Piers and stuff like that.
It's the same thing in the Delaware beaches.
Okay,
boardwalk, the work program people and everything.
Yeah,
and I'm like, the accent is so foreign to an accent that you hear like on a regular basis around here. It's like, man, what a crazy, like what a jarring thing to hear. Like a what do you call that? Like a Russian accent is like,
yeah.
Like an Eastern Blocky accent.
Well,
you're like, whoa, it takes you back for a second.
That was the coolest part because like I got to meet. So I also worked on the boardwalk down the shore. I worked at 2 different places on the boardwalk. And so we got to like meet and hang out with people from all over the world that we otherwise would never get a chance to like meet, like people from fucking Ohio.
What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
go back.
No, like just Japan, China, Czech Republic, back when it was Czech Republic, and just like all over the place, and get to hear all their stories of these kids who like they thought being in South Jersey was the coolest that like being a kid and getting to spend like 4 months in America was like the coolest experience for them, to get treated like absolute shit from fat Americans on their holiday. Yeah.
While they in fact are down the shore.
Correct.
Christ on a crack.
Yeah. But no, it was a cool experience. I worked at an arcade on the boardwalk, and I worked at a poster and T-shirt shop on the boardwalk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That was that was the best job ever. I'll never have a better job than that.
Go on. Why is that?
So I worked for like a family friend, like my brother's friend. And she was awesome. First of all, she was an awesome quote unquote boss. And she was just like an older kind of like punk girl.
Huh. So
like I pretty much got paid to chill in a poster and T-shirt shop, sell like blacklight posters and grinders to like kids, and Justin Bieber life-size posters and Marilyn Monroe posters to like college kids for their dorms. And listen to like all of my favorite music.
That's where I'm gonna find a Hasbulla cutout. Keep going.
Oh yeah. They probably have that now. But that was definitely the best job I think I'll ever work. Everything else is just second to that.
Just because of the freedom and like the fucking crazy shit.
It was just I really do think that being able to listen to music that is your own music is integral to your work. Like and I think it would have a direct correlation between like work morale and productivity, right?
Yeah.
But it's also like It was on the Wildwood Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. Expenses were low. I was living at my parents' house.
Right.
This was like right after high school.
So a kid is 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And we also worked on either side of that place. We had, I mean, I don't know if this is PC anymore. I don't know if this is PC anymore. They're like carnies, like carnival people.
I'm pretty sure they're still called carnies.
I wasn't
no?
sure. I don't know. I don't want to offend any carnies listening.
If you're a carny listening, please write in the show.
Yeah.
At ThankYouForUrServices at gmail.com. That's spelled with UR. ThankYouForUrServices at gmail.com. Keep going.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's a great plug.
Carnies.
Yeah, if you're a carny listening, whoop whoop. But
Matt told me 2 scoops of whoop for our juggalos.
2 scoops of whoop is a fantastic
Whoop, whoop.
thing. But yeah,
Rest in
so
peace,
so on
Cannibal.
either side there would be these these like carnival games. So we got to like, I mean, be friendly with them is a strong word, but they would come in and
You were cool.
yeah, that it was like a what are those fish that like suck the shit off of sharks? It was a mutualistic relationship, I guess. A suckerfish, sure. It was
Believe it or not.
It was a mutualistic relationship between us two because we would
Symbiotic.
yeah, it was symbiotic. There it is, exactly. Because we would, if some shit went down, they were always the first to get, to get buck wild.
Well, they got that carny strength.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're
And then
breaking down rides and shit. They got that crazy strength, I'm sure.
yes, absolutely.
And they're probably out of their minds.
Well, I was, yeah. So they're out of their minds, and then they would use our bathroom to do drugs in because they didn't have bathrooms in the thing. So it was a symbiotic relationship, and we got a lot of cool stories out of it.
God, I would love to be a fly on the wall for a day.
Yeah, it was great. It was, yeah, that was the best job I'll ever have.
Now, you bring up a great point with the music thing being integral to your work experience, and I gotta agree. Like when I worked in both kitchen jobs, I was either doing prep work and I was left completely alone to listen to my music, either in the prep kitchen downstairs, like in a a basement of the kitchen I was working at. I was left to my own devices in the prep room with a giant walk-in next to me and just my phone and one of those what is that, a quart, the big plastic one?
Yeah.
A quart container to stick my phone in so I can hear my music.
So it can be louder.
The Bluetooth speaker of the working class.
See, that's some redneck innovation there.
It's also the drink receptacle of the working class.
Yes, and the urine receptacle of the working class. So I think if I could go back in time instead of, because I also worked when I moved to Philadelphia, I found employment at like one of the most popular brunch restaurants in Philadelphia, which I'm not going to say. But if I could go back in time, I would definitely go to the back of the house instead of the front of the house.
Does it rhyme with
I cannot.
Skegs?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
To protect the innocent, I think I have to omit it. But
back of house is the spot, though.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to deal with people. You kind of, as long as you get your stuff done.
Still kitchen rules, though.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. When I worked both of those kitchen jobs, I didn't make very much, but again, I was also a kid. Expenses were low. All I was doing was either going on tour or living at my mom and dad's house.
Right.
My mom and dad both lived in this like my life was so simple and like fun. Like work was fun like almost all the time, even though it kind of sucked too. It was such a balance of like work was really hard, but also like there was always shenanigans. And I'm listening to music or like we're making crazy food.
Right.
Oh man,
the friendships you forge in extremely high stress work environments, and particularly in the food industry, are stronger than family sometimes. Like I still have people in my life that, as terrible as that job was, I'm grateful for it just because of the people that I met and still know.
Hell yeah. My first best friend, that is still my best friend to this day, I met when we worked at Wawa together.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Garrett. I was the best man at his wedding.
That's what's up, Garrett. I heard about your wedding. It seemed awesome.
It was fucking lit, dude. Real quick, speaking of taking of real quick deflection. Speaking of taking shows for granted, we both requested off for the same show. This was January 2012. We both didn't get it, and we stood there all night on a dead ass night with our arms crossed, just fuming because we were working the Bad Seed reunion.
Oh man, yeah, that would have been cool.
And then like George from Blacklisted sang for Cold World and shit.
Oh, so it was like
it was a memorial
like a once
show.
in a lifetime.
Exactly.
Kind of thing?
It was a memorial show for a kid who passed.
Oh wow.
JDK, I think were his initials. The JDK memorial show. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, man, work isn't worth anything.
No.
Yeah.
There will always be another work day.
Yeah.
So if you fuck up something, or if you have to leave early, or if you stay late, there's always going to be another one.
Yep.
I wish some of my boomer coworkers could feel like that, because I feel I was actually pontificating this walking out the door today at work. I was not to deflect for too much longer, but maybe I'll circle back to it. No, fuck it. This is my show.
Yeah, the audience is on pins and needles. You have to feed them.
So I was leaving work today. I mean, we're still talking about work. So I was leaving, and one of my coworkers, who just like our boss, will work until like the lights go off.
Yeah.
My boss, the controller of our company, will work some nights until 1 o'clock in the morning in her office, go home, sleep 3 hours, and then be back at 8 o'clock in the morning the next day.
That's insane.
Now, a controller, do you know what a controller's salary is?
No.
It's 6 figures for sure, and it's around 200 or so K a year. But still, even that is not worth it to me, to have no life at all. That's also 6 or 7 days a week most of the time.
No.
Because there's no such thing as work-life balance. Work becomes your life. So at what point does that pay off?
Yeah.
You know, and my other coworker kind of does the same thing. She'll show up around 9:30 every day, and sometimes she won't leave till 7 or 8, or sometimes 9. The other night she told me she worked until 1 a.m. And I was like, why are you doing that? We have the same job. We don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like not to be rude, but like, we don't make enough to be working that fucking hard.
And it's also like, what happens when you get to that point where your whole thing is like, all I do is work, but the money's good? What happens when the money isn't good anymore? What happens when like it doesn't make you happy?
How would you know if you're even happy?
Yeah.
All you're doing is working.
Yeah.
That's like, so it might be their work ethic, because of just like, again, it's a different generation of people.
Are they all older?
Yeah. They're middle-aged, like 50s or so.
So I might be incorrect about this, but I feel like that it harkens back to a time when pay was more substantial than it is now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But also I think it harkens to a time when work was perceived as, or your career was perceived as a meritocracy, in that like how far you got in whatever field that you were in had to do with work ethic, and it had to do with like being
actual
autonomous.
Merit.
Yes, actual merit.
Yeah.
And then now nothing is like that.
No.
Nothing is like that. Whether it's work, music, fucking comedy, it doesn't matter. Nothing is it's all politics, and it's all just like putting in your time.
That I sadly came to this realization as I was walking to the parking lot this afternoon, because both of them work that hard, and it's like we have the same means to an end. Like, me and my one coworker do the exact same job in the finance department, But I was thinking like, oh man, it was fucking brilliant. But I just can't remember it right now.
The fish was this big, man. Yeah.
It's gone. Fuck. I knew I should have wrote it down.
I was just going to commend you on your ability to remember things because you pulled that date out of absolute nothingness. And
wrong.
That's all right.
What date?
Because you remembered the day that you and your homeboy.
I don't remember the day. I just remember the month.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better than
I remember
could
the
do.
year.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm terrible with all of that.
I'm okay with dates if they correlate with shows.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I was always like that my whole life up until kind of now. Well, that's not true. I can remember, especially if I buy a ticket to something, I remember that fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And then going forward, I can look back and say, "Oh, I bought the ticket. It was February 19th or something."
Oh,
when I
yeah,
saw
that's still better than me.
something. So, well, now that I've derailed the conversation successfully and then fell off the tracks my own self because I forgot what the fuck I was going to say. No, back to working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And how much fun like those friendships are and how meaningful they are. I'm also still dear friends with one of my coworkers from the kitchen, and she's a shout out Erin Silva. She's in a badass band called Eyeball. I just shouted her out in the last episode too. She keeps coming
Damn,
up. I
popular.
gotta have her on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll reach out. It's IBAWL.
Oh.
Ball. They sound like whole. Like they're fucking.
Oh, really?
They're sweet. She plays guitar and sings.
That's cool.
And my friend Andrew plays guitar. They're really fucking cool, actually. But we're still friends 10 years later. Oh, and Garrett worked at that job too.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he ties in.
Would you agree that I found that working in food is the gig is not for everyone, and some people can't hack it.
No, absolutely they can't.
People used to come into the brunch place I worked at like a new hire, and I would be able to tell within the first 20 minutes if they were gonna flounder.
How long they're gonna last?
Yeah, I mean I've seen people quit pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just, and I don't blame you. Like it eats people alive, but
Yeah,
it's also
hard.
like if I think everybody should work a week in food
No.
before. Well, hear me out. Before they go out to eat anywhere, because if you knew what went into making your food, I think you would be nicer. I think working in food makes people more empathetic, more chill, more
Yes. Yes, and yes.
Yeah. I just think it's everybody should have to do it for a week before they say shit about their food being cold or their something's not done the right way, or just like because you don't know how to talk to people yet.
I'll do you one better.
Sure.
I think every person who wants a college degree,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it's in, it could be in business management, fucking liberal arts or
Archery.
whatever. Height. I don't know. Anyone who wants either an associate's or a bachelor's degree of anything, you must intern for a certain number of hours at a food service job.
Oh yeah.
Like you can do 6 months at a restaurant, or I don't know, 8 months in customer service.
Okay, so
not like a full-time schedule, but like
is the purpose like this is what you could be doing if you don't want to study?
Maybe, but not so much that to more so to your point. I think a week is a more realistic number, but nah, I think I like your model better.
Yeah, it's just,
if you want to go out to eat anywhere, you should have to work 1 week's worth of work in a kitchen of some kind.
You would change because I waited on people all the time who you could tell they've never worked in food. They barely even went out to eat, and that's why you're acting like this. You giant grown child.
Ugh.
It's not for everybody, man.
No. And the people that it is for are always fucking either crazy or they're awesome or both.
Right. Right. I mean, there's that. What's the meme of Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, where it's like when the front of house starts dating the back of house? It's pretty accurate because I've worked with some Machine Gun Kellys in my time, and I've worked with some Megan Foxes.
Here, either hostesses or fucking prep cooks like myself.
Yeah.
Like like hot bar cooks, whatever.
Yeah,
they look like that fucking yeah. That's the dichotomy of man right there.
It really is.
Dichotomy of
everything the
kitchen.
light touches.
Now, there was one more thing. There's another thing I wanted. Since doing all those service jobs in your life, you told me that a year and a half ago, you started working your first ever desk job.
Correct.
Not only at a desk, but working remote.
Correct.
At your own desk.
Yeah.
Now, this will come up. Either has come up or it will come up eventually, but some people who are cut out for the service industry or whatever, any industry really, when you work there long enough, you feel kind of you feel kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like a kind of Stockholm syndrome, like you don't know what else you can possibly do.
Right.
Like I've put in 15 years cooking. This is all I know how to do. I can't just uproot and try something else now.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt.
So I wanted you to get into that because you just said fuck it, right?
Yeah. So I had been working at the brunch job for years, and I was like,
how many?
6, probably
6?
more.
That's
Yeah. And I had worked.
I never worked anywhere 6 years.
Oh, see, all my jobs have been like long term, like 5+ years for most of them. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I'd been working there for a long time, and I worked my way up. So like when I started that job, I was like bussing tables, and I worked my way up, and I got all the good shifts, and then I was essentially doing like shift management stuff. Sometimes not really. Sometimes it was against my will that I was like taking on a lot of this responsibility.
Yeah.
But I worked there because 1, it enabled me to like go on tour, and 2, I loved the people that I worked with so much, and I still do. But, yeah, so it just got to a point because you got to keep in mind, like COVID happened. So everybody was home. They sent us home for like, I don't know, a couple months or whatever. And then when we came back, the idea was like, all right, yeah, we're just going to.
So you got to come back too.
Yeah. They called us back. It was with like a shorter staff, and I was one that they called back. And they were like, yeah, so we're going to make sure that we take it slow. We're going to take care of everybody. And because like I was getting unemployment, which was my first time getting unemployment too. They were like, yeah, we're going to make sure everybody's being safe, and like we're going to ease into it, and we're not going to make sure we not and within the first 2 weeks we were like thrown to the wolves, because this was back at a time when they were spacing out tables, like everything had to be 6 feet apart. Like you remember all this, these wild regulations and that. So
this is what, late summer,
yeah,
fall?
Something like that. And within the first couple weeks, it went straight into
full on.
Oh, we don't give a shit about like you guys anymore.
And
like,
this is still 2020?
I believe so. Like I said, I'm bad with dates, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, a year and a half ago from now would be, let's see, February, January, December, November.
So I started.
It would be September 2020.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Ish.
Yeah.
October.
So yeah, it would have been right around then.
August, really?
Yeah. And so it just got to
Crazy.
a point. It just got to a point where I was doing so much with this business, and the people who were in charge were not looking out for the staff so much that I was just like, you know what, I can't do this. And like the money was good. I like essentially could have like just shown up to work without pants on, and they would have been like, "Oh my god, you're so funny," or like,
Mike is
or I
so
leave for tour.
crazy.
Yeah, I leave for tour for a couple weeks, and when I come back, they're like, "Oh my god, we missed you so much."
Right.
So it's like I didn't know how to do anything else. I didn't go to I went to Sweatpants U, so I didn't have an education. All I was good at was slinging eggs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't know where to go from there. So yeah, and then eventually, after some prodding, I applied to like a work from home job because I knew somebody that had an in there, and they liked me in the interview. I got another interview, and now I work a cushy work from home job.
Do you care to say what even industry it's in?
The current job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forget.
It's so I essentially work in marketing. Like
That's right.
yeah.
It's a marketing gig. Not bad.
Yep.
Easy to do remote in theory, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Did they supply you with computer and shit?
Yep.
God, love
and that was I felt it's weird going from the food industry where it was I hope this isn't disrespectful, but it was straight up an abusive relationship between the people who run the business and the people that work the business, to a place where I felt like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank, at the end of Shawshank, where he like asks to go to the bathroom and they're like, you don't have to do that. Like I wasn't used to getting a lunch break and being able to sit down, and like I didn't have to crouch under a counter and eat. You know what I mean? Like there's loads of stuff like that.
Or like grab a bite in the walk-in,
right?
Hurry back out.
There would be entire days where I didn't go to the bathroom because we didn't have time.
I haven't even thought about this in so long.
Yeah,
I did the same fucking thing when I stopped working in the kitchen too, and even mine was probably less demanding than yours, but still, my old boss, same thing. He was a chef. So like, if anyone's never worked for an actual chef before, they don't fuck around with anything.
Right.
And if they're in a bad mood, everyone's in a bad mood. So fuck asking them for anything.
Yes.
You don't get raises, really.
No.
Well, at the place I worked at, but that's neither here nor there. But when I moved to a new industry, I went from kitchen to banking.
Yeah.
And the hours, like I have what do you mean to tell me I have a set schedule? What is that?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday. What?
You know what blew my mind when people were, when I found out that like, so to give you a little bit of backstory, when I started food running at that brunch job, the competition of people that worked there and just like the nature of how busy that place got to begin with was so crazy that the night before my first shift that I worked, I had an accident and I split my head open. So I had to get 14 staples in my head, right? So I was in the ER, right? And I texted my boss because I was supposed to start like a new position there the next day. And I texted my boss to be like, and I think I said, hey, I'm in the ER. I just had to get some staples in my head. Can I wear a hat to work tomorrow? Thinking that he would be like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, don't even worry about it. We'll figure it out. And he just goes, yes. So I showed up.
With a period?
Yep. I would have preferred to have been K.
You fucking scumbag.
Yeah. So I would have, anyway. So I showed up the next day and worked my first shift with a hat on.
Christ.
Because it was like that competitive. So to go to a job where it's like people take mental days, I was like,
what?
Yeah, I yeah, exactly.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Baking powder?
Right. I couldn't wrap my head around that. And then, yeah.
I think that's for the better. I think that's going to be the new model in corporate America.
Yeah.
I think they have no fucking choice anymore.
No. Exactly.
Because millennials like ourselves and the younger generation is definitely going to hold people to the fire.
Absolutely.
And it's fucking needed because people like my psychotic coworkers work until 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
For what? Oh, also, I didn't mention we're salary. It doesn't matter how long.
Oh, it doesn't matter how late you work.
It doesn't matter how long we're there. So it's like, what are you doing? Mel's job, my girlfriend Mel's job is like that too. Like they give a fuck about people, the people that are working for them and making the like they're keeping the lights on of your company.
Mm-hmm.
You should give a shit about your people.
Yeah.
And my boss now, like I can just give my boss no heads up at all. As soon as she walks past my desk at 8:30 or 8:45, I can be like, "Hey, I'm not taking a lunch today. I'm going to work through my lunch so I can leave an hour early because I have some shit to do."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Great."
And they trust you as an adult to just get your work done.
They're so flexible. They're just like, "Great, whatever works."
Right.
Not this past week, but before, I've had to like go behind people and fix their mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's forced me to stay late.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I take full advantage. Oh, thank God, I just remembered this. I had to fix people's mistakes for a couple days in a row, so I worked like normally I leave at 4:00, so I was leaving at 6:00, 5:00, multiple times. So I was like, "Hey guys, heads up, since I was working like crazy late, I'm taking a half day on Friday."
Oh yeah.
And my boss is just like, "Whatever."
Oh, cool.
But I told my coworker, I was like, "Just to remind you, tomorrow I'm taking a half day." And this is the one who does the same job as me.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Yeah, so did I." Or like I said I did because I worked crazy late the last couple nights. She goes, "Yeah, so did I." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What is keeping you here? Like what?"
It's like it's not my fault you don't know your worth as a
Right.
worker. You know what I mean? Well, it is
Such a generational
thing.
Man.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea. Like maybe they have no fucking clue, or like the point you made, like they're conditioned to feel that their worth is how hard they're working.
Yeah.
Not even so much how much they're making or what they're doing.
Yeah.
But just that they are doing it.
Well, they had a couple bad ideas. You know what I mean? Like the whole work till you die thing.
Don't even get me
Popcorn
fucking
ceilings,
started.
shag rugs. You know,
Wood paneling.
There's not a lot of good ideas.
Not only shag, putting carpet over hardwood.
Carpet over hardwood. Yeah.
Bullet in the head.
Yeah. I don't know.
Get out of here.
Right.
No, that's exactly the point I wanted to circle back to. Thank God. I thought that was gone forever.
Yeah.
No, this has been a fucking awesome episode. This is great.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
No, I'm sad. I'm sad Matt couldn't be here, but I'm also not, because he stinks.
Well, we'll have to get him back here, because I was saying before we started, I have some barber questions, so I'll have to, or maybe I'll call in and we'll do a barber.
Well, now we have the capability to do that, and you have an open invitation to be on this show whenever you want.
I appreciate it.
Also, and we can we can figure out just whatever. This has been fucking awesome. Is there anything coming up that you're looking forward to, or like anything you would like to plug?
Oh boy,
Anything good coming up?
Yeah. So if anybody is listening is into hardcore, I don't know if they are or not, but we have a couple cool shows coming up, and I honestly I don't even have them ready to plug them, but we have some cool shows coming.
We as Chemical Fix.
Chemical Fix. We have some cool shows coming up. The other band I play in, actually both of the other bands I play in, one is called Fixation. They are also a hardcore band, and then the other is called Half Thought. We have records coming out in the next few months. But I don't know. I don't know if I have much. I hope everybody just does what makes them happy till they die of it. That's kind of all I don't know. How about you? Any good comedy stuff coming up?
Ooh, good question. At the end of March. No. The first weekend in April, I'm going to see Little Esther at Helium.
Oh, that's cool.
Dave Attell is playing, not in Philly, but in like a casino in Pennsylvania sometime at the end of March.
Dude, that's awesome. Have you seen him before?
Yes. Saw him at Helium. The best show I've ever been to.
How long ago?
Last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw him a couple months ago. He was awesome.
That Dave Attell is the best club comedian who has ever lived.
He's a comics comic, the
Yes.
ultimate comics comic.
Any comedian who's worth anything would say he's the best club act there ever's been.
Who's the best comic you've ever seen?
That I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Probably Dave.
Dave.
All right. And with that, we just have a few parting words for you listeners. We just wanted to say a couple things, so listen up.
Just wanted to say, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Tom's longtime friend. I'm hoping a new friend of mine. Once again, sorry I couldn't be here for this episode.
Good old Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh seems like a cool dude. Interview seemed awesome. So I always like to say, I know it's difficult out there right now. I'm right there alongside of you guys. Just feeling it more and more every day, it seems like. But stay strong. You're doing the right thing. We love you for it, and thank you for all you do, and thank you for your services, everybody.
All right. With that, we'll leave you. Have a great rest of your day.
Later.